Welcome back to the 0 to 6 figure series. In this series, we show you my personal portfolio, the buys, the sells, the assets that I'm accumulating during the bear market. And hopefully the aim is over the many months and years potentially to grow this portfolio to 6 figures. Of course, it will take a long time to get there, but hopefully we will get there. So today we're going to focus on Arbitrum. And you can see my portfolio here, $12,000. We had a huge climb actually, if we look at the chart here. Going from just the last few days really because of the Arbitrum airdrop, and you can see that we've pretty much almost doubled our portfolio in size thanks to Arbitrum. And this is what I've been telling you guys for a long time. For those of you who've been long-term supporters of the channel, you guys will know that I've been telling you about interacting with new chains, new blockchains, and you will be rewarded for doing so. And I made plenty of potential airdrop videos in the past, so go and watch them, and I'll have plenty more in the near future as well. We do have some new blockchains around as well that have come pretty recently with the likes of ZK Sync, and there's going to be many more as well. There's a long list of some of them, which I will be tweeting about quite regularly. And in fact, I might make more videos about as well. But anyway, today we're going to focus on Arbitrum because Arbitrum is what came out. We've got the Arb token, and I haven't sold my airdrop just yet. I think a lot of people probably did claim their airdrop and did sell immediately. I was... Well, before the airdrop came out, I did kind of try to value what I think Arbitrum should be valued at. And I thought given that Optimism, which is another kind of blockchain which already has its governance token out, was valued at around 10 billion fully diluted. I thought that Arbitrum, given it's got higher TVL, more applications, significantly more network effect, probably should be valued at a little bit higher. Maybe not so much higher, but a little bit higher. And I think it did actually get to around 15 billion fully diluted in terms of its market cap. But it kind of has retraced a little bit, and I believe we're somewhere around the 12 billion mark. Now, of course, there's a lot of factors because 12 billion is worth of Arbitrum is not in circulation. In fact, the current circulating market cap is only around 1.5 billion or something like that. And I think that does put it at, if we have a look at all cryptocurrencies, it does put it at maybe somewhere around rank 40, rank 38. And one of the questions that I kind of ask is really if the supply of Arbitrum is not really going to increase for another 1 year because there's the rest of the tokens are vested, can we see the circulating market cap for Arbitrum, really kind of jump towards the top 20? I think, Arbitrum does have a greater network effect than things like Near Protocol. I think definitely it does. Hedera definitely it does. Aptos it definitely does. And then kind of as we go towards the top 20, Avalanche, well, I think it probably does have a bigger network effect than that of Avalanche at the moment. So at that valuation, we're kind of looking at $5 or $6 billion, and that's kind of a 3 to 4x from here. I don't think that that's going to happen because the fully diluted value of Arbitrum would end up being like $40 billion, which is probably a bit too high. But I do think that there is a chance that something like Arbitrum could actually go up a little bit more, and probably probably can. Let's go back to the portfolio. So I did get about 5,000 Arbitrum tokens, and like I said, I'm holding all of them, and that basically accounts to 50% of the portfolio now. So you can see from these, not from the pie chart anyway, 50% Arbitrum. Frax share obviously still being around 20%. Obviously it was a lot more beforehand, and then kind of everything else is a lot smaller. Of course, with time, I'm going to rebalance this. The time just isn't right at the moment, and it's probably going to take me a long while, but we will get there eventually. And I think there was a comment on one of the last videos about making a video about rebalancing the portfolio, because I have mentioned that a few times, and I will make that video soon. What is my plan with Arbitrum? As I mentioned before the actual Arbitrum drop came out, I thought it would be valued somewhere between $1 and $1.50, maybe up to $2. But I think if Arbitrum does kind of go or head towards that $2 mark, I think at that time, or especially close to that mark, I think I'll definitely be considering kind of scaling out of the position somewhat. I think the future is bright for Arbitrum, especially with such a thriving ecosystem. So yeah, I think the future is going to be great for Arbitrum, and if you can afford to hold it long term, I think you probably will be rewarded. I think one of the concerns really is that you can't really value Arbitrum the same way that you can Polygon or Avalanche or Solana or kind of any of the other alt layer ones, and that's because they have more utility in terms of they're a gas token and stuff like that, whereas Arbitrum is just a governance token. But you know, I think given the network effect that Arbitrum does have, I think it does deserve some. Probably a little bit higher than where we are at the moment, but yeah, maybe where we are is probably a fair valuation. The other thing is when airdrops typically have come in the past, especially the recent ones with the likes of Optimism, Blur, even Aptos, they have kind of gone through this period where they do like for a short while. I mean, let's have a look at the ARB chart if we can kind of get that up here. Or maybe I'll just click on. So, I mean, what happens is usually is that they kind of start off high and kind of will trend down for a short period of time. They'll bottom out, maybe this will bottom out at $1.80, something like that, before kind of really building up momentum and rallying over the next few weeks. I think we've seen that with Aptos. Let's have a look at Aptos. We've seen it with Aptos, so let's have a look here. So the Aptos token came out, kind of trended down over the few weeks before really rallying up. We saw it with Blur. Let's have a look at Blur. I mean, this chart doesn't really explain it too well, so I'm not going to look at this chart. This chart's not right. It definitely wasn't like this. And let's have a look at Optimism, which I think is probably the more fair comparison. And you can see that from $1.50 all the way down to 50 cents before really building momentum over the next few months and kind of getting to this $3 high that we have. I think there's a chance that that could happen to Arbitrum as well, especially as the sellers or the airdrop claimers kind of decide to capitulate and sell. Who knows? But I think I'm willing to hold on to my Arbitrum for the time being until that does happen. And I do think that there is a chance that it could rally to $1.80, $2 around that range and see new all-time highs. When is it going to happen? I don't know. And at what point am I going to potentially sell if it doesn't work out? I think to be honest, I'm just happy to keep it for the time being. And unless something drastically changes in the market, then I'd probably consider selling at its current price. But at the moment, I'm not really planning to. So yeah, we finally have made it, past the 5-figure mark, which is a nice achievement, 12% of the way there. Let's briefly just kind of talk about all the rest of the assets, which remain unchanged from last episode. In terms of Frax, Sam did actually mention V3 is coming out for Frax, so that is some very good news, and hopefully I'll have some content about it once we do find some more information. In terms of stablecoins, I think I still own USDC, which did regain its peg, but yeah, I think it's something that I probably will add to over time, because I'm a farmer and I do like to farm, and perhaps in the next episode or in the future episodes we could talk about where I'm farming. For those of you who want to know about where I'm farming, every single month on Twitter and in my newsletter I do write about the various different farms of the month, and I'm participating in those pretty much. Of course, I would love to accumulate more Ethereum, but Ethereum just constantly keeps going up in price, and I just feel priced out at the moment. We do have some big news coming April 12th. The Shanghai update is coming, so we'll see a lot of Ethereum in the news there. Lyra is the one position that I'm in the red in, and I can understand why. If you go to Lyra, there's so many incentives and rewards all paid out in the Lyra token, so perhaps a lot of people are farming and dumping. I mean, it's a difficult one. For the time being, I'm just going to keep the position because I do like Lyra, I like the platform, and I'm anticipating that there will be some sort of revenue accrual in the future. So I'm kind of hoping for that. It's a low market cap, so yeah, and it's a small position overall. Butterfly, I will continue to add to because I think the products are fantastic. Watch my deep dive video if you want to learn about that. And Chainlink has been probably the worst performing asset in the portfolio since I started this. Maybe how long has it been? 4 or 5 months now. I've heard that the Chainlink team are selling off some of their tokens and they're probably coming to an end pretty soon, but who knows. I think infrastructure is important, and for those of you who have watched my deep dive on Chainlink, you'll know that I am particularly keen and particularly fond on Chainlink, and I think with revamped tokenomics I think it will do well in the bull run. So maybe it's something that I will just hold on to for the entire portfolio. Who knows? In terms of what I'm adding, there are a few more altcoins that I will be adding, so you'll see them in future episodes. So make sure you're subscribed, turn the bell notification on as well. And yeah, that's pretty much where we are at the moment. So $12,000, obviously majority of it being in the Arbitrum airdrop, which we just got recently. Yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Hope you found this useful. Hope you found it entertaining. Of course, nothing is financial advice. Maybe I should have said that at the start of the video, but I'm sure you guys know because I say it all the time. Don't copy me. I might be completely wrong, and all these coins could probably go to zero in the future. Who knows? But yeah, I'm willing to risk. This is my portfolio that if it does go to zero, it's not going to change my life. It's not going to affect me. I'll still be able to do the things that I do every day. So yeah, don't copy me, but here's what I've got at the moment. We're doing relatively well at the moment, so I'm happy with the portfolio. Let's see where we go over the next few months. So that's all I've got for you today. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course I'll be back with plenty more content in the near future.